All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mayoral debate 2015. We are going to have a debate today between two candidates who are going to run for the office of the mayor of our city. So I introduce the candidates. The first candidate is the incumbent candidate, Mr. Green, who is the current mayor of our city. And then his challenger is Mr. Brown, who is going to also talk today. And I am the moderator, Professor William. So the setting of this meeting is in a way that first Mr. Green is going to talk to us about his accomplishments in the past 8 years as the mayor of our city. And then Mr. Brown is going to talk about, I'm sure, about the criticisms that he might have on the performance of Mr. Green. And after these two candidates speak, I will come on stage and I will try to analyze the speeches of the two candidates with the hope of shedding some light and helping you to decide at the ballot which of the two candidates to vote for. With that, I would like to welcome Mr. Green to come on stage. Thank you, Professor William, and welcome, fellow citizens. I'm so happy to be here today to talk to you about the accomplishments of me and my team over the past 8 years. We did great things, and our city is in a much better shape today than it was 8 years ago. I would like to go over the accomplishments, and you can see that we've made progress across the board. Let's start with manufacturing. Manufacturing improved in our city over the past 8 years. The number of products manufactured in our city, which is a very important industry, increased by 20%. What about education? Education also improved in our city. 60% of elementary schools scored higher in the standardized tests. Also, at the average test score of 12th graders increased by 5%. It's a great accomplishment. What about economy? Economy improved as well. Each family in our city received on average more than $500 of tax cuts per year. That was my promise when I ran for office. I'm so happy that I accomplished it. Also, on average, the nominal salary of each family increased by 5%. And each city employee across the board received 10% salary increase. And what about recreation, which is not that important, but still we paid attention to that, and we increased the recreation budget by 500%. We increased it by 5 times. So I'm so happy about what we've done. As you can see, we did great things, and I would like you to come to the ballot and vote for me to stay your mayor and finish this and just keep our city great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Green. I now would like to invite Mr. Brown to come on stage and give his presentation. Fellow citizens, I don't know what Mr. Green is talking about. Our city has been in a very bad situation over the past 8 years. It's crippled. It's disastrous. Let me just show you. I don't know where he brings all these numbers from, because as far as I can tell, everything from all aspects of our life in our city was devastated. Let me show you. The manufacturing suffered in our city over the past 8 years. The number of manufacturing jobs reduced by 30%. 30% of a piece. People lost their job. What about education? Education suffered as well. 80% of elementary students scored lower in the standardized tests. And dropout rate by 12th grade increased by 10%. Economy suffered as well. The median annual tax cut per family was just less than $30 per year, which is something that Mr. Green promised, but $30 a year is nothing. The average buying power of each family reduced by 8%. And the mayor increased his own salary 10 times as much as other employees of the city. So basically he worked for himself. even for recreation, which is very important for our city, so it suffered. And the entire budget that we have for recreation is just $60,000 a year, which is nothing for a city of this size. So overall, I think that we should fix this. So please go to the ballot and vote for me, and I make sure that we together can make our city great again. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Brown, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure by now you're totally confused. So which one of these two pictures that you saw from our city is correct? Is our city thriving or suffering? So obviously one of these two candidates should be telling you the lie. And I would like to give you more information so you know which one of them tells you lies and which one you should vote for. So let's go over their presentations one by one. So they talked about manufacturing. Did that improve or suffer? So Mr. Green says number of products manufactured was increased by 20%. While Mr. Brown says that number of manufacturing jobs reduced by 30%. Which one is correct? Actually, both are correct. When you add technology, when you use technology, that improves productivity, but people lose jobs. Let's look at education. Mr. Green said that 60% of elementary schools scored higher. But Mr. Brown said that 80% of elementary students scored lower. Pay attention to the words that they used. One said school, the other said students. But actually both are correct. Many schools, many small schools did great, but students in larger schools performed poorly. Still, both were correct. What about the average test score? The average test score increased by 5% according to Mr. Green, but Mr. Brown said that dropout rates increased. So, which one tells you the truth? Actually, both. Because if worse students in a class drop out, that increases the average test score, right? So one of them talks about the test score, the other one talks about dropout rate. What about economy? One of them says each family on average received more than $500 of tax cut. The other one says that the median annual tax cut is less than $30. Again, both are correct. How? So average and median are different. Average is susceptible to outliers. So if you give tax break to a few rich people in your city, the average will go up, but the median will stay the same. By the way, George Bush used the same trick in his presentation. And the average nominal salary of each family was increased by 5%, but the average buying power was lower. Why? Because of inflation. If you take into account inflation, the buying power decreases despite the salary increase. And again, each city employee received 10% increase across the board, but Mr. Brown complains that Mr. Green received 10 times as much salary increase. That is okay. That is, again, correct. Not okay, but it's at least correct. Because the mayor himself received 10 times as much salary. So obviously, if you give 10% increase to everyone, his increase will be 10 times as much as others. And the recreation, which one of them said that, oh, it's not that important. The other one says that is very important. But regardless, so Mr. Green says that we increased it by 500%. But Mr. Brown says that the total number is $60,000 a year. Again, both are correct. But when a number is small, increasing it, it's not that hard. You can increase it by 500%, but still, the total number will look small. So, in summary, both the candidates told you the truth, but they simply told you the story in a way to serve their own purpose and drive their own agenda. That's why you should pay attention to how statistics are presented to you. The numbers are numbers, but the way that you put them together and present it matters. So politicians use that trick a lot, and you should pay attention to that. If you want to learn more about this subject, you can read my book, Naked Statistics, which talks about that. But let me just finish with this quote from the movie Caddyshack. Two men are in the locker room and they're exchanging. They're coming back from the golf course. What did you shoot? I don't keep score. Then how do you compare yourself to other golfers? By height. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for delivering this